Welcome, one and all, to Stacking Triggers, where we have no changes. Dan, what is going on with you this week? How are you?
I'm great. It was an interesting week in Magic, which we'll talk about. But yeah, it's been okay. It's been good. How about you?
That's great, Dan. And I'm Bill. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. If you're a first time listener, I'm Bill. That's Dan.
Mhm.
I've been doing a lot of practice for Eternal Weekend this weekend.
Yeah. Oh, it's this weekend. Goddamn.
Well, it's okay. Not. I'm sorry. Next week. Uh, for the listener, it'll be this weekend.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. So yeah, it is actually the legacy portion of that has actually sold out.
Which is crazy.
It's 950 seats, and we are at capacity.
That's crazy. I saw that. You've already hit it before the event, so I sure hope people have been paying attention to that on Melee and are not going to run out to get to.
Oh,
Uh,
people are upset already.
Yeah, and I saw on Twitter, and quite frankly, it's a good take. If you are for sure participating in an event and you are paying money to go to that event and you're traveling to go to that event, you should probably register for that event the day your travel is booked.
Yeah, I registered like weeks ago
Right.
because I was like, oh, you know what? I've got it on the calendar. It's cleared with the wife. I'm set to go. It's granted, it's just down the road for me,
Yes.
but still, like I registered way in advance because I was like, man, the Prague one, that one filled up pretty quick.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, to those people, I'm sorry that you wasted your money, but you
Yeah,
wasted your money.
yeah. There's also like side events too going on, so maybe you can enjoy some of those. Bring
Yeah.
a modern deck. They have a modern RCQ.
You should play in that.
I will if I do too poorly in
Okay.
the first four rounds.
So, but
Right.
here's the question: what are you going to play?
In the modern RCQ?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably play that list that Spike was running, the Gruul Storm list.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
The list
I
that I
have all
don't
the
like.
cards. Yeah, that's fine. You don't have to like it.
No, I don't like. I don't like many Spike brews. I feel like they're too. He's just
Spiky?
trying. He's just trying something that, and I think he's just
Yeah,
most of the time trying to make content. I mean, the beans one is the only one that's actually like recently that's actually hit. But like outside of that,
it
it's like
is.
yeah,
Yeah.
these look like fun, but also they look like way too complicated. And some of the cards in these lists are way too expensive to just try out in a deck for funsies.
His his sideboards are also super tuned to stuff he sees on MTGO
Yeah.
during the workday.
Yeah.
Right. Like if you see it during the workday versus during a tournament on the weekend, it's going to be a lot different.
Yes. And that's
Uh,
why when you see him in his testing process, it is very much like I will test for, like if a deck does well during the week, okay, it's doing well during the week. So now I have to take it to a weekend challenge and see how it does in the challenge,
mhm.
which is correct. Like that's when people care the most. Otherwise, people are just kind of like fucking around in
Right.
leagues,
Yeah.
and you're not getting the best quality of players. So yeah,
Like
you gotta
me.
just try. Yeah.
Yeah. In contrast, right? So the 950 that we mentioned before for the Eternal Weekend, that was legacy only.
Yes.
If you go and look at vintage, the vintage championships is 281 out of 600.
Well, so also here's the question.
Vintage is expensive though.
Yes, proxy things. Are you allowed to proxy at all? Because if you're not allowed to proxy at all,
No.
then yeah, that explains it. Because like we're talking like Black Lotus is a card you're playing, like all the Power
Mhm.
Nine.
The
You can
Power
play
9.
one of each of the Power Nine cards,
Yeah.
and boy, those are good
No.
cards. They're also incredibly expensive.
Incredibly. Yeah.
So yeah, so yeah, to me, vintage is like the rich person format, like the rich. Like I know like some legacy decks get up to like 3K. Some vintage decks are upwards of like $100,000. I'm betting.
I think it's more like 30,
I'm
but
so,
still,
even
that's an
without Black
absurd
Lotus.
amount.
Isn't Black Lotus like a $50,000 card?
No, I think it's like $8,000.
There's no way that's right.
Let me go. I'm going to go on Goldfish now and look because I feel like that's right. Vintage.
If Black Lotus is an $8,000 card right now,
Okay, so
I might buy it.
Blue Tinker is 80K itself. That's the number one deck being played right now. The most expensive card in it is Black Lotus, but it's 18K. So
See,
it's definitely it's still
okay.
more than what I thought, but less than what you thought.
All right, so a quarter of my salary, got it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The second most expensive card in there is the Tabernacle at Pendril Vale.
Yeah, that sounds
This
right.
is, but that's also a legacy card as well.
Your legacy card.
I hate that card. It's a stupid card. It's an upkeep cost of 1 for creatures.
You need something for that.
Luckily, it's all creatures though, right? So
right, it's your opponent's creatures too.
Yeah, yep. But it's fun. Vintage or legacy, that is. Vintage, not so much, right? Because I think vintage is just for people who've been in the game since its inception.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Or people who have bought like massive collections and gotten lucky with some stuff.
Right. Yeah. Like the most expensive legacy metagame from the last 30 days, the most expensive deck is looking to be around 5K, 8K, 8K.
Sure.
Yeah. But it's all fun in games. So
yeah,
don't take it too seriously, everybody.
I've taken it very seriously.
That's true. But yeah, so that's the news. If you're going there, hopefully you weren't going to play Legacy.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's still your fault. Like you should have planned better. Like that just requires better planning.
I
You
agree. Yeah.
shouldn't expect to sign up to a massive event on the same day. I know it happens. Like we've seen it with SCGs where there's like
Right.
it's like 1,000-person limit and it's like 500 people show up. And like don't do if you're signing up for the main event, sign up for the main event. Like if you're going for the main event, sign up for it. Don't wait.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Like if you're going there to play in the main event, as you're saying, sign up for it. If there's other events that you want to play in, why don't you just sign up for those too? Actually, I don't even think you can sign up for those on Melee right now.
You should
All the
be able
side,
to.
I didn't see in the side events.
Hmm.
I didn't see it at all in the schedule for the side events on Melee yet. Unless somebody other than Card Titan is running them.
I don't know.
I know Card Titan's running the entire like thing. I don't know if they have side vendors running the other events.
Right.
But yeah. So Dan, I heard there's a new mechanic in Pioneer.
Yeah, it's Discover. I know nothing about it. It's just that it's taken over everything. Apparently, it's worse than Cascade. Like, because Wizard said, "Oh, we're introducing fixed Cascade with Discover," and then they broke it. And so there's been like 2 Discover combo decks that have shown up, and they can kill people on turn 3, and people are unhappy about that. And to be fair, they should be unhappy about that. I don't think turn 3 kills in Pioneer is something that should be aspired to.
The other thing that makes me think of this is like the Greasefang decks.
Yeah,
but Greasefang is much more inconsistent than this.
Greasefang might be the most inconsistent deck I've ever seen. And people are like, "Oh, this deck's great," and it's like, no, it's not.
Yeah,
You can kill somebody on turn 3 with Greasefang Parhelion attack with like 1,000,000 power, but like,
right.
Okay, so you need Greasefang, which requires you to have the Greasefang card. You need the lands to cast it. You need the Parhelion also in the graveyard, and there's no real consistent way to do that. in that deck. So
No,
sorry, it just doesn't happen. I don't respect that deck in any way, shape, or form.
I don't well, I don't like that deck at all.
I
Every
think it's a
time
bad deck.
every time I go against it, they always just have it. That's me. That's just my luck.
Yeah.
They just get it every time. Uh, but I agree. Like the inconsistency with it is, I think, what keeps it fair.
Yes.
The Discover decks, though, seem to be a lot more consistent at being able to put what they need on the board. And
Right.
it's an uncommon. What's the uncommon, Dan?
Geological Appraiser.
Geological Appraiser.
I think it's a 5 mana when it ETBs Discover 3 or something like that.
I am trying to find it. Geological Appraiser, 4 mana.
4 mana, okay.
When it enters the battlefield, you cast. If you cast it, discover 3. So, luckily, they put the if you cast it, discover 3.
So how is this broken?
So, it is broken because you know what's 3 mana? Eldritch Evolution.
Okay, so you Eldritch Evolution that for something
Mm-hmm.
of 6 mana.
You go into Trumpeting Carnosaurus or
Carnosaur?
Carnosaur, sorry, which is 4 red trample. When it enters the battlefield, discover 5. Not when it enters the battlefield, if you cast it, discover 5.
Okay.
So then it will then discover into whatever it needs to discover into. So for 5, it would discover into a Glasspool Mimic
Yep.
or or another Geological Appraiser,
Yep, which you just do it again.
which
And
you would put,
then
yeah, you would put that to hand and then just do it again next turn.
right. Glasspool Mimic just enters the battlefield there and then copies as a Carnosaur you discover again.
Right.
Okay. Okay, I see that.
Yeah. So it just gets and the dinosaur is 7/6. It's a 7/6 dinosaur with trample. So it's very big, very beefy. It looks like also people are running Torrential Gearhulk in there as
That sounds
well
right, because this is
as
6 mana.
another hit. Yeah. As another
Yeah,
hit.
you could hit that with the Eldritch Evolution and then just Gear Hulk something.
Yeah, and it looks like also there's Galta Stampede Tyrant in there as well. It's a 5 green. Trample when it.
Oh, so you're Eldritch Evolutioning the Carnosaur.
Oh, yeah, that could be too, to get the Galta. And then when it enters the battlefield, put any number of creature cards from your hand onto the battlefield.
Jesus fucking Christ.
And it's a 12/12.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Okay. And you ramp into it with the Strixhaven cards, Creative Outburst.
Magma Opus.
Yeah, Magma, and yeah, Magma Opus is in here. There's a bunch of other things in here too that I'm not caring to read.
They're the usual creativity. This is just creativity, but with extra steps.
Yeah, yep, I would say that. Also, they do run 2 Cavern of Souls, which probably makes it a lot harder to interact with Geological Appraiser.
I mean, sure.
I mean, it's 2, so it's definitely not as hard.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I guess you could also put on Dinosaur. Like, if you aren't able to get to the Geological Appraiser combo or whatever, you could just put it on Dinosaur and then eventually get like
Yeah,
massive dinosaurs out there. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. It's putting up numbers though. The South American Magic Series Regional Championship was on the 26th.
Mhm.
It went 7-1.
Yeah, and then there's the Quintorius version, which I don't know what that fucking does or how that works.
I don't know that one either. Oh my goodness, the recent leagues with it too. 50 in all in one league.
Well,
Um,
yeah, because that's just a modern league. That's just a Pioneer League dump from
right,
MTGO.
yeah,
So.
yeah. It's a dump, but the single dump from that day, which was 11/27, had 4 of them out of a 51. So I mean, not,
Yeah, that's a good clip. Because it also remember
yeah.
they don't parse out
They don't put losers.
Same deck lists. So like
Oh
if the
yeah,
deck lists are the same, they don't do anything. So there could be more.
yeah, yeah. Looking at the actual dump. Yeah, I don't. I'm not looking into this. It's too much work.
That's fair.
But yeah, definitely seems like a possibly broken mechanic because possibly broken. Yeah, because like if you do hit a card you don't want with the dinosaur on the second, like you're going. It's fine. You're fine.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to just be able to put the
You
hand and
still have
try
a
again next turn.
7/6. Yeah.
Yeah, you still have a 7/6, and you have the geological appraiser. You're doing fine.
So what are the, because it's permanent card, right?
What is?
Discover, how is discover worded?
Oh, exile the cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land with mana value 3 or less. So
Okay.
it is literally Cascade, except you can put it to hand instead of
And
not casting.
what are the non-land cards? So we have Geological Appraiser, Trumpeting Carnosaur, Creative Outburst, Magma Opus, Glasspool Mimic. What else do we have?
There's Bedic Bedazzled. What the heck is this card? It's hold on. I don't know this one, Dan. I'm sending it to you over Discord.
Okay.
Because I can't English.
That's fine. It is Bedic Bedazzle, Bedak Bedazzle.
Yeah,
It's
and then there's Convine and Concoct.
oh, they're playing the double-sided cards. So like
Right, yeah, it gets around it because its total mana value
yes.
is outside that range. Yeah.
Yes, it's like cut to ribbons. That's
Yes.
war and peace, chaos and order, that kind of thing.
Yeah. And so like Magma Opus makes, it's 6, 7, 8 mana, but it has the, two treasure tokens ability
Yeah.
on it. Creative Outburst is another 7 to create a treasure token, and then Elemental Masterpiece, which is a common 7. Same thing. You just make a token instead of 2. I think Magma Opus is the more broken one.
Yeah, Magma Opus is the best one.
Yeah, and
Okay. Yeah.
yes, so it's literally the only thing you can cascade into is Eldritch Evolution,
Yeah, so
or
it's
I'm sorry, Discover into.
discover into Eldritch Evolution, and then discover into another Eldritch Evolution, a Glasspool Mimic,
Yep.
Another Geological Appraiser, blah blah blah. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Oh, I wonder how Glasspool Mimic works as well. Right, so Glasspool Mimic copies Geological Appraiser. You technically cast it with Discover because it says cast it without paying its mana cost from exile.
well, if you're Glasspool mimicking from the Carnosaur, you're copying the Carnosaur.
Right, no, you're copying the Carnosaur, but I'm saying like your first play is the Geological Appraiser.
Yep.
And your first card you hit is Glasspool Mimic.
Your first card you hit is Eldritch Evolution.
No, because Glasspool Mimic's 3.
Oh, is it 3? What the fuck?
Yeah. CMC at 3 is Glasspool Mimic.
So what does Glasspool Mimic say at the beginning of the card? Is it as
You
this
may
card enters the battle? Is it
you may have it enter as a copy.
Yes. Okay. So it enters as a copy. Therefore, I believe the ruling
It
works
would
that
still discover.
Yes, it would still discover, and then you could hit another Eldritch Evolution or another Glasspool Mimic or whatever.
Right. So it's impossible to miss once you cast.
Yes.
The Appraiser.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
Which is the
but
problem.
Also crazy.
Yeah. So you mulligan until you get like a Geological Appraiser plus 2 lands and a Magma Opus, and you're pretty much set. Again, that's all you need.
Yeah. Yep, that's your turn 2.
Yeah, turn 1, play
or
land
3.
pass. Turn 2, Magma Opus, because that creates 2 treasure tokens.
Magma Opus does do 2. Yes,
Yeah,
that's the only one.
Yeah,
that
you're
does
at 4.
2. Yeah,
and the only way it turns out the hero we need in this format is actually Karn to prevent the treasures from activating.
Karn, he was the answer all along.
He was right there all along, and you wanted to shun him. Oh my god!
Actually, that's a great transition. Speaking of Karn, speaking of Karn, we got from this past week's MTG.
Weekly.
Was it weekly? It's their weekly. We got notice that there's a BNR coming up on Monday. So the day this video comes out,
Yeah.
we're going to be getting. It is confirmed that there will be bans and unbans related to Modern and Pioneer.
Did they say unbans for Modern as well?
I believe the wording was ban and unbans for Modern and Pioneer.
Oh, okay.
They did not. Yeah.
I know for a fact it was Pioneer. Pioneer said unban.
I believe that's the wording. That's the wording of every headline I've seen was ban and unbans for Modern and Pioneer.
Yeah, I didn't. I didn't gather that for Modern. I really didn't. I didn't.
Yeah, they might not be unbanning anything in Modern.
I don't think so. I don't know what you unban.
It's I don't know. There's people who always argue for their pet cards to be unbanned.
You know, what card died for nobody's sins. Fucking Yorion. I
feel like that's an okay one to keep in, right? Because Yurion's.
I hate the ban reason. It was like, it took too long for everyone to shuffle. It's like, okay, sure,
not my problem. Shuffle faster.
Shuffle faster. And if people are taking their sweet time shuffling, then call a judge.
Yeah, exactly.
Like legitimately, if I'm playing against the Yorion player, I'm gonna have my hand raised and just be like, all right, let's pay attention for how long they take to shuffle, because it's 5 shuffles. To me, it's 5 shuffles. If you go over 5 shuffles, you are wrong.
Yeah. Oh, my deck would not do well with that.
It's fine.
My legacy deck.
No. I mean, over 5, it's like 5 of one of these. One of these.
I gotcha. Yeah.
You're doing more than this. If you're doing more than this shit, then you're fucking up.
Yeah, I gotcha. I'm picking up what you're putting down, but it does sound potentially like a lot of people are speculating that Karn is going to be getting a ban in Pioneer.
It should have happened a long time ago.
Should have happened a long time ago. Dan, that's also where I picked you up these Karns to today. And I just had the insane thought of, oh my gosh, what if they try to balance the format by banning Karn across the board?
No. He's not going to he's not going to get banned in Modern. It's not going to happen.
You don't think it's going to happen?
Not yet. It would need Tron would need to be like a tier 0 deck, I think, for that to happen.
Depending on what else they're banning, I believe people have speculated, if they take out the red black scam, that's the deck. Yeah. Mm-hmm. If they take out scam, that leaves a void for the Karn Tron deck.
Yes, which is fine. It's
fine that there's a void for the Karn deck.
I mean, yeah. The card you ban from that deck isn't Karn. It's probably Ring.
I feel like it works though in other decks pretty well.
Who Karn or the Ring?
The Ring, sorry.
Yeah, you just ban the Ring.
Just ban the Ring.
Like if it comes down to it, ban the Ring. But like I don't think the Ring is going to get banned. So let's stick with Pioneer. Obviously, I think Geological Appraiser is getting banned.
Yeah,
without a doubt, not even a question. Geological Appraiser is gone. It's an uncommon. I know there are a couple people who bought like Glasspool Mimics and Trumpeting Carnosaurs
at a big price.
Yeah, at a big price, and then immediately after Wizards is like, "Yep, we're having a ban," and there's definitely changes this time. But I want to talk about that actually. The BNR announcement itself before we actually talk about potential cards that are banned. So we are getting changes to Pioneer, Modern, and Pauper. Gavin Verhey put out something specifically saying Pauper is having a change, and that a ban list update will be made for that format as well. All right, so we can talk about that after we talk about Pioneer and Modern, because I've been off that format for a while now, but I have thoughts. No changes to Standard, Legacy, and Vintage. That's fine. Standard, nothing seems to be broken. Legacy, everything. They even talked about everything's under 10% play rate in Legacy, which is amazing. That's incredible. There is no watch list. They don't have a watch list. And I know some people are up in arms about that, and I'm just like, why do you care this much? about what these people say.
Yeah, I had thoughts about that too because I watched the live stream. I got
Mhm.
in late, but I did catch that question, and I believe the thought they had behind not having a watch list was that if they put something on a watch list and it turns out to not actually be a problem, they don't know if it's because it's on the watch list and people are avoiding it,
Mhm.
or if it's because it's actually not a problem.
Yeah. I am willing to bet they have an internal watch list.
Mhm.
And but that's it. Like, we will never know unless like there's some disgruntled Wizards employee who's like, here's the watch list for all the formats, and it's like, oh no, sell these
Yeah.
while you can if you're not playing with
So
them.
sell them while you can. Yeah. Yeah. I don't mind that there's not a watch list
Yeah.
because if the card prices were affordable and like cheap, I could see a watch list being okay
Yes.
because nobody's gonna like people are gonna play what they want to play then at that point and not fear, oh my god, I spent $2,000 on my scam deck
And now it's banned.
and now it's banned. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that the watch list is fine. I don't think a public watch list is good for anybody. I think that makes the longer a card remains on the watch list, the more people get upset that it's not being banned. I don't think Wizards wants people just screaming at Blake in chat, being like, "Why haven't you banned this?
It's been
Why
on the
won't you
watch
ban
list for
that?"
10 months.
Yeah,
Why it's
it's
not
always on the
removed?
ban. It's always on the watch list. Just ban it already. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Um, so there's that. I want to talk about this afterwards, but I've seen a lot of consternation that all the formats right now are actually currently like lame duck formats, in that no one is going to play them because the ban list is coming and they don't want to play things that are just going to get banned. Which, like, okay, but we can talk about that afterwards. Blake takes the blame for September 8th. I don't think it's Blake's fault that September 8th happened. I think
Yeah.
Blake just took the blame for it, so people shut the fuck up, which is
Yeah.
fine. You're allowed to do that, Blake. Like, you're allowed to eat blame for your coworkers, but like, yeah, I don't think Blake was at all to blame for any of that happening.
Yeah, that was and just to refresh our viewers, that was the no changes, here's the product placement
Yes,
announcement.
that doesn't feel like a Blake mistake. That feels like a somebody else fucked up along the way kind of mistake.
Yeah, this I think this goes in hand with their adjustment of going to the 3-year rotation. That changes kind of where they put their ban announcements, I believe,
Right.
is what happened. And somewhere along the way, I think lines got crossed and a lot of people were out or something. And they just put out an announcement that had no changes because people weren't ready to announce changes till this
Right.
time.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what they said. I'm gonna take them at their word for it. I know people don't, and the Wizards just making shit up, and it's like, okay, fine. There's nothing
I
I
feel
could.
I feel like it's an honest mistake if that did happen at the company, like,
Yes.
and not necessarily Blake, but like I don't fault them for this. This is a highly complicated like thing that they have to run.
Yeah. I'm sure people can be like, "Oh, you guys just fucking suck up the Wizards." Where Wizards has never even Wizards doesn't even fucking know about us. By the
They
way,
don't know who we are.
Wizards doesn't know who
Well,
we are.
they know enough to say no, you're not on the creator list.
That's true. We did get rejected for the creator badge at MagicCon Chicago, so that is what it is. But
Yeah,
um,
we're still going.
oh yeah, for sure. Also, because standard event, standard open for $75,000. Yes, please.
Yeah, I want to do the
I'll try.
standard open, and I want to do the standard open there, and I want to do the secret layer
Yeah, yeah,
play
yeah.
event.
If I get knocked out of standard open, I'll definitely do the secret layer thing.
Yeah,
Okay. So also based on their comments, they said something along the lines of, in modern at least, that a card that both red black evoke, as they called it, and the cascade deck, the beans decks, have a card that is shared between them that is getting banned, and that has led to the card
tons of
fury
speculation. Yeah,
being put under the focus of being the card in modern that is for sure banned. Bill, give us a price check. What is Fury's price down to right now?
Ooh, yeah. Earlier today it was bad,
Yep.
but let's check what it is. Ooh, Goldfish does not have TCG players. The moderately played one right this second is $16.70.
All right, so it really hasn't. So I'm assuming the non moderately played one, like the one that
The
is like,
lightly playeds and near mints are around $20.
yeah, that's about where they were this morning. Um, that's down quite a bit. The
It
borderless
was
version is
$65, I believe, at one
60.
point.
There's no way recently it
It
was
was
$65
no, it was like $55, $65
for
recently.
Fury or for the
Yes, just
borderless.
plain old Fury.
Huh?
Yeah,
Jesus
dude, it was.
Christ.
Yeah, let's see. The history has it at okay. The history has it at 53. Sorry, it wasn't 65.
My God.
And
That's
that's non-foil
yeah. When was that?
regular version. The foil,
No, no, no. When was that?
oh, that was like, yeah, 53 was around November 12th through the 14th.
So pretty much like when they said like, "Hey, we're going to talk about BNR here."
Yeah.
People
Um.
started selling there to get their high value for it.
Actually, damn it. Sorry, I'm $10 less.
Oh, 45.
I yeah. Sorry,
Yeah, that sounds right.
I was looking at the green line, not the blue line.
Yeah, that sounds right. So yeah,
Yeah.
like so there from there people start speculating like, "Oh, Fury's probably going to get banned." And we can talk about it really quickly. I think Fury of the Evoke creatures is likely the one to get banned the most
Yeah.
because it has the thing where it goes, oh, grief takes one card. Endurance shuffles the graveyard, so really it's just kind of like card disadvantage, except in certain situations. Subtlety bounces one spell. Solitude uh, exiles one creature. Fury can hit up to 4 targets,
Mm-hmm.
and that's its problem. Is that it can eat like 4 one cost or 1 toughness creatures at any
Right.
time. If it was just worded like it was more like Flame Tongue Kavu, where it was like when Fury enters the battlefield, you may deal 4 damage. You may deal 4 damage to 1 target creature or planeswalker. If that was Fury, I think we'd all be fine with Fury.
Yeah. Yeah. Because right, the way to go around scam, if you can, is to go wide,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you have enough stuff to you can double block the menace fear, the menace grief.
Mm-hmm.
To stop taking damage. You can maybe get enough to block the fury and kill it.
Yeah,
Maybe, I don't know. The double strike's kind of hard on it too.
double strike is very hard.
Yeah. That's also probably the thing. Like it's got double strike, whereas the others is like menace, lifelink,
Flying
flying,
reach.
and reach. Right.
Yeah.
Like this is the only one where it'll like it's really hard to deal with.
Yeah, if it was something like First Strike, I think we'd be all. I think we'd also be happy about that.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's like I don't feel like they thought about it too much, and now here we are with it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I could potentially see one more card getting taken out from the scam deck.
What card?
I think not dead after all.
Okay, yeah,
I
we
think
we brought this up.
we brought this up, and they hinted a little bit, like they talked about not dead after all
They talked about
on
Orcish
the live stream.
Bowmasters, up the beanstalk, and not dead after all, and then they heavily alluded to Fury being a card.
That's true. Yep, that's true. I feel like not dead after all would be a good ban as well
Mm-hmm.
to keep that deck in check, because then you can't use the Undying Evil and you're back to your old ways
Right.
with it. So I don't know. That's just an idea. They alluded to it. We said it what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago,
Yep,
4 weeks
I
ago.
have the timestamp for it. I'm ready to share the clip whenever all three of those cards get banned. And people are like, "Wow, that's a lot of bans." And it's almost like we called this or something. I'm ready
Yeah,
to take my victory lap, Mr. Krabs.
you're ready to take it. Other than that, though, I could maybe see the bean card
Bean needs to go.
get the being taken out.
Yeah, I think it needs to go. I harp on it every single time. It makes -1 situations into +1 situation or even situations. Like we talked about
Yeah,
it. The reason why the evoke elementals are fair to a degree is that they are overall -1 plays. And when you play Beanstalk and you evoke a Solitude or you evoke a Fury, they now become you plus massively instead
yeah,
now for no reason.
yep, exactly.
And with Leyline Binding being a 7 mana card that
Yeah,
triggers it, and boy, it's really
6
easy
mana,
with 6 mana. No, isn't it 6 and a white?
5. It. No, you
Oh, you're right.
can.
It is 5 and a white.
5 and a white.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but still, you can trigger that incredibly easily. Incredibly
yeah.
easily. It's the
Turn 2
yeah, you can get
or
a
turn.
leyline
Well, turn 3.
you can get a leyline binding on turn 2 easily.
Yeah. Hmm.
And just removing a card for 1 mana just because you fetch twice is not a good interaction, and I don't feel like that card like I'd be happy if that card went.
I would be happy if it went as well. I would be okay if it stayed if they didn't get a card in return for using it. Right.
Yeah,
Like that's the feels bad is, oh, let me remove your creature and get rewarded by getting a card.
right. I
Yeah.
think that's why I think Beans just has to go. It just creates too much value for that deck that already had pretty good value as it was.
Yeah. I think there's just a lot of other ways as well to cast and cheat creatures in to trigger it that haven't necessarily been explored yet because what we have now is the most optimal way.
Yes. And I'm sure there's more ways to break it. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I think Beans should go. It'll be sad because I just picked up a playset because I was going to play. I want to play Affinity Beans. Like if Beans isn't going, I'm playing Affinity Beans 100%. Not even a question.
That
Will
would be
happen
funny.
as soon as possible. Affinity Beans, I've seen it played though. Like its problem is that like it can't close because like you draw a bunch, and if you don't get to cranial plating, you just kind of lose the game because you need
Oh,
like both a flyer and cranial plating to do anything. And it's like, all right, I've drawn a million cards, but I don't have my cranial plating.
and a flyer that would withstand all that draw
Yeah,
with Bowmasters in the format.
right. So like, yeah, like if Bowman goes, so like, to me, there's 4 cards that are up to 4 cards that are potentially going. It's
Mhm.
Fury, which is like to me 90% gone. Uh,
Yep.
Orcus Bowmasters, which would be great. Up the Beanstalk, which would be great. And Not Dead After All, which I think is probably what they would consider the lowest impact. But up Not Dead After All immediately becomes the worst card on the ban list,
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
which
I,
is
I'd agree
funny.
there.
But
Yeah.
I think it's the card that probably should go the most
Yeah. The
outside
fact
of
that you
Fury.
can use it with Undying Evil, that your removal hurts you, and that
Yeah,
1 point of life might count. Yeah. I think it's a card that at least is being looked at. Thank goodness. Bowmasters,
if
I'd
Beans
feel bad.
goes, I don't feel like Bowmasters needs to get hit.
That could be. Yeah.
I feel like Bowmasters is fine if Beans
Because
leaves,
I feel like Bowmasters would keep like Murktide decks in more check,
which is why I want it gone. Get it out.
which is why you want it gone.
Get it out.
But but yeah, that's kind of like what I'm thinking about is like they probably will keep it. I hope they keep it because I just started buying them up. Uh, actually,
Well,
let's see.
you'll have them for
Let's see
Legacy.
what
It's
that's
fine.
at.
They're still really good in Legacy.
They are extremely.
Did it tank?
Before ban announcement, 43.
Uh huh.
Oh, it's just a very dramatic scale. Okay. Wait, I'm sorry. 42 non-foil, 31 non-foil. on market price. So it went from it dropped $11.
It dropped. People actually think this is
It,
gonna get banned.
yeah, it dropped
Man, if
$11.
that gets banned, that's crazy.
It's obviously not as hard as Fury because of they hinted at Fury,
They
so it's like
heavily alluded to Fury being the one gone, but they also
yeah.
did bring up that card, Up the Beanstalk, and not that after. Can you look up the Beanstalk?
Yeah, let me look that one up because that one was rising pretty
Yeah,
heavily.
I got mine for like $4 a piece.
Yeah, no movement because it's still a standard legal card
Still a
too.
standard legal card, still Pioneer legal card, still Legacy legal
Yeah,
card, and no
yeah.
changes in that format. So
I don't think people are seeing this as being a problem. I see it as a problem. You see it as a problem.
yes,
I think the dev team will see it as a problem too, but we'll see.
I mean we'll see. I just feel like yeah, if Beans goes, Bowman doesn't go. If Bowman goes, Beans is staying. Actually,
Yeah,
that's not true. If Bowman goes, Beans also has to go.
it has to, right? Because Bowman keeps it in check.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It'll be interesting. If Bowmasters goes, boy, Murktide sucks to the roof. We're just in stonks heaven with
Yeah, I'll be
with
happy
Murktide.
because I have most of the Murktide list at this point.
Yeah. I will be through the roof. I'll be so fucking happy. Although I will say, like the big deck that probably the big decks that probably come into fill in those voids because like Yawgmoth exploded. I still think Yawgmoth would be around, but it's a lot less powerful without Bowmasters because Bowmasters puts 2 bodies on the board for Yawgmoth to do stuff with.
And maybe that's the reason they're looking to right. They're looking at the void that would be left.
Yes. If you get rid
Yeah.
of Fury, the immediately Yawgmoth becomes tier 1. Like not even a question, immediate tier 1.
Right. Yeah, it's gonna be rough. I don't know. You and I are gonna be sitting there Monday morning waiting for that ban announcement to hit, and if Fury's not on the list, we're gonna try to buy up
Oh yeah, I'm buying out Fury.
some cheap ones.
The
Yeah.
second Fury is not on that list, I am buying out Fury.
Yeah. Yeah. Hold on. I want to look at Card Kingdom. I want to see what they're trying to sell Fury for because TCG is literally a speculation place.
It really is.
Card Kingdom Fury is still on Card Kingdom still at $44.99. So they're not believing the hype. The EX, what's EX stand for on there? I do not use
I don't
Card
know.
Kingdom.
I can't remember.
I think it's a part of their grading scale. So
Yeah, I think so.
near mint, and then whatever the next one down, which is EX, that's like 38. So they're still holding all the prices as if it's not banned.
Yeah, so what you're saying is nobody's buying Furies on cardkingdom.com
Card
right
Kingdom.
now.
Right, yeah.
Go to Cool Stuff Inc. What are they selling Furies for?
Cool Stuff Inc. Yeah. I was sadly also Card Kingdom and Cool Stuff do not sell like boxes of boxes.
Draft boxes, set
Cases.
boxes? Oh, cases. Okay.
Cases, sorry. Yeah, Cool Stuff Inc. is also still running it at whatever they had it. So they have 13 near mints for $49.99.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. I guess they
Yeah,
just don't want to get shit on
yeah.
if they sell
Now
it like and it doesn't get banned.
I'm sure their buy list is a completely different story.
Oh yeah, for sure. But like
Yeah,
they don't want to eat shit on Fury.
right.
They'd
Actually,
rather be safe and not lose. Like they'd rather just like you know if you sell Fury for $20 and it turns out that like Fury is it remains unbanned and then you just
mhm.
go and you become a psycho like us where we buy like 1,000,000 copies of Fury online just to see how many of the orders get canceled. You know, you're just like okay because that's gonna happen. Like I know like
Right.
I the second if that were to happen, the second that happens, the orders get canceled immediately.
Right. Yeah.
Because
It's
in One Piece, they just announced that they were unbanning 7 cards from the ban list. like because they temporarily banded 4, and they were like, okay, we're unbanning these 4, but we're also unbanning 3 more that we did earlier in the year, and everyone like buy prices are crazy right now. So I bought this one card that was like, um, it gives your leader plus 2,000 attack on play, which is a
Right.
lot, and that's plus 2,000 attack for your turn and your opponent's turn. So you make sure your opponent's turns, you make sure opponent swings into your leader way worse, and it makes
Right.
your swing into them way better. That's at 4 now again, and I bought them the second they announced the unban. I bought them for $14, and they are shipping for $14. They are currently around
Nice.
28. They doubled in price.
Nice.
So
Stonks.
I was like, cool, great, and then I bought more stuff from that seller because I was like, I want to reward you for
Yeah.
not being a fucking piece of garbage.
Yeah. So I'm nervous that what our plan is to try and buy if it's not on the list.
Yes.
So on TCG Player, what I have seen a common trend is when there's a spike on something, a seller will reject the order saying they don't have the stock
Yep.
available and then relist at a higher price.
Yep.
And
And that's what I
so,
figure would happen is most sellers
yeah,
will just be like, "Oh, well, that's what happened. Okay, well then, fuck you. I'm getting my money back."
yeah. If I was a seller, the morning of that ban list, I would just pull my product.
Oh yeah, 100%. Or just be
Yeah.
hitting F5 and waiting.
Yeah. But so back to the cool stuff ink buy list, they do not even have Fury listed.
Wow, that's crazy. Because like,
Yeah,
is
it's just
Fury
not.
anything in Legacy?
No,
Interesting. So yeah,
there's too many. No, there's too many spells to for free counter it.
yeah. So yeah, you're just yeah. I guess if Fury goes, it's just like a dead card in everyone's collection after this.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
Yeah.
except for Commander. Yeah,
Yeah,
Commander might like it.
Commander might like it. I don't know.
Um,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
that's
because
crazy.
grief scam is a thing
Yeah, you
in
blue black
blue,
scam
blue
because blue is the best color in Legacy.
yeah, blue black scam is a thing, and it's really used just as a reanimator. Like you don't even run the not dead after alls kind of stuff
Yeah,
because that's too easily countered, right?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So um yeah, it's just crazy. And oftentimes too, you're probably gonna reanimate your Troll of Khazad-dûm over a freaking
Right, it's a I think it's a five
over
six that
the
can't be blocked. It can't be blocked unless you block with 3 creatures.
three.
That's
Yeah. Yeah.
insane.
Yeah. Yeah. You're gonna reanimate your troll over your grief unless you really want to rip the second thing out of their hand.
Yeah, like a 4/3 menace is nothing when or it's actually just a 3/2 because reanimate doesn't even get a power to toughness. So
Nope.
a 3/2 menace is nothing compared to a 5/6 super menace.
Right. Yeah. Especially in a format where the top deck right now is Grixis Delver, which runs Unholy Heats.
Yeah.
So
So I mean, like they need their one of 4
they,
cards to do
yeah.
anything with it.
Well, they run 2 Unholy Heats and 4 Lightning Bolts.
Okay. So like they need a force of negation / force of will the reanimate.
Well, yeah. Or just bolt it.
I don't mean grief. I meant troll.
Oh, the troll. Yes. They would need to force and negate the troll. But
Yeah.
with the troll at the same time, it reanimate deals damage equal to the mana value to the person that's reanimating.
I guess that's true.
So it's like if you have the Delver out, and you know you're gonna flip it. You might want it to stick around so you can try and race them.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
don't know. Mind games. That's
All right. So in modern, we pretty much agree that Fury is banned for sure. And then it's just
But
kind of
we hope it
speculation.
doesn't. We hope it
Yeah,
doesn't.
we hope it doesn't for our wallets, and just to see how scummy some TCG player sellers are. And
Yeah.
then we also feel like Bowman, Up the Beanstalk, and Not Dead After All are the other potential hits.
Mhm.
I would expect at least one of those other cards to go.
You know what I'd love to see to go in all formats?
Island?
Teferi Time Raveler.
Nah, it's not going to happen. It's
I
not gonna
hate
happen.
that card so
Oh,
much.
it sucks so much, and that's why it got banned in Pioneer, and it should have been banned in Pioneer. It broke that format.
I hate that card.
That card preventing you from being able to play. If you're a blue deck and you get
Interaction.
if you're a blue deck playing against a Fairy Time Raveler, you don't counter it, which you saw in the Murktide video where I fucking accidentally didn't counter it. I just couldn't do anything.
Yeah, it just throws everything off.
Yeah, it's awful. I wouldn't hate to see it go,
I would love to see it go
uh,
because I run
but I'd be fine with it going.
I run things at instant speed.
Yeah. All right, and then in Pioneer, I think we both agree that Karn has long since outlived his
Yeah,
banlessness.
I could see them getting rid of Karn or Nykthos, but Nykthos I don't think is a problem if Karn's not there.
Yeah, what makes Karn broken is big mana, and I'm fine with them. Like, his, I've had it done to me where they Stonebrain combo me with like Chain Veil, Stonebrain, Karn. It's just like, oh my god, just fucking kill me a normal way, please.
Right.
This is such a waste of my time. But like, yeah, I think Nykthos might be fine. We'll see. That might change it in the future.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what else in Pioneer is like problematic. I think it's just Karn and that new card.
Geological Appraiser seems to be the big thing. Like, get rid of
Yeah.
Geological Appraiser, you probably just neuter the Discover deck entirely. You probably like the Trumpeting Carnosaur can potentially still exist. Now, here's the thing: I don't
Mm-hmm.
know about the Quintorius combo deck. I don't know what that runs. It might have something other than Geological Appraiser in it. In
It could, yeah.
which in that case, whatever is enabling that deck, or if maybe that deck is way less consistent, that'd be cool. But
Yeah.
yeah, it seems like Geological Appraiser has to die for Discover's sins.
What yeah. And like just kind of thinking about things too. It's like looking at the win rates in Pioneer now, everything seems to have like shifted completely, right? Is
Right.
it Phoenix is now like a top tier deck again?
Yeah.
Which is I don't understand like how one filter card uh changed it that much.
I think it was also like the fact that it can counter it, like it's one of the few decks that has actual interaction that can stop a Cascade deck.
I suppose, yeah, that's probably true. Um yeah, because like looking at the tier one decks on mtgdecks.net, it's like, is it Phoenix, Rakdos Midrange, Boros Convoke, Green Devotion, Azorius Control, Rakdos Sacrifice, Lotus Field, and that's it. But that's the last 60 days. If I look at the last 2 weeks, though,
Yeah, look at the last 2 weeks.
Quintorius combo is tier one. Discover Evolution, which is the one that we were talking about, is also tier one. Rakdos is it still the top. Boros Convoke is also there. And Azorius Control. Yeah, like a lot of blue decks pushing towards the top because of the Discover and
Yeah.
Quintorius. Let me look at the Quintorius deck.
Yeah. Because if it runs Geological Appraiser, then for sure Geological Appraiser is gone.
It does not.
What does it
Or
run instead?
at least this version doesn't. Hold on, let me look at one that was maybe done before the announcement. What was that announcement? When was that done?
It was like 11/28.
Okay, let me look at the 4-color version of it. It does not. It does not run.
All right, so what's it running?
Clever Impersonator, which is 2 blue.
It's Spark Double.
Yeah, it's a Spark Double, actual Spark Double,
Actual Spark Double.
and then Beanstalk Giant.
To ramp, sure.
Yeah, Greater Tanuki
To ramp.
Trumpeting Carnosaur, which is the one that we talked
so
about.
maybe Carnosaur also eats a ban.
Yeah, that could be one. The Consign and Oblivion again. The Bed Deck Bedazzle. Thought Distortion. Herd Migration, which is a ramp card. Leyline Binding.
You're playing a ramp deck, so you're playing a green ramp deck, so Domain makes sense.
And then Quintorius. And Quintorius, whenever you cast a spell from exile, it deals 2 damage to each opponent and you gain 2 life.
Oh god, fucking damn it.
Yeah, +1. You create a 3/2 red white spirit creature token.
Yep,
Minus
that's what he used to do.
-3. Discover 4. It comes in with 4 loyalty counters.
Oh my fucking god! It's -3. You said.
It's -3. Yeah,
Oh my
you
god!
-3 to discover 4.
All right,
Minus.
so
Oh,
does Spark
also
Double and the other card are they can they enter as
dinosaurs.
no, can they enter as planeswalkers?
Spark double. Spark double will.
Okay.
Um, the impersonator enters the battlefield to copy any non-land permanent. So
Okay,
yes.
so yeah. So what are you trying to hit other than those cards?
So the dinosaur can discover into Quintorius.
Right, but like what I mean is like you go Quintorius
Mm-hmm.
and then you go discover, find like Spark Double. That's the card from exile. You deal 2 damage, gain 2 life. Do it
Yep.
again. Oh, and it stacks. Fuck. Okay, so that's how it does it.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
you just keep hitting your.
It keeps going.
Okay, we figured it out.
Yeah, because like what's going to happen is it'll legend rule itself. You'll keep
Yeah,
the new
you
one,
keep the new one.
and then you just keep doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I think Spark Double might remove legendary from it.
If it's a creature, it enters with additional loyalty. If it's a planeswalker if it's a planeswalker and it isn't legendary. Oh, it isn't legendary if that permanent is legendary.
Okay.
Okay, so you want to hit Spark Double first, and then you hit the Clever Impersonator.
Yeah.
And there's 4 Spark Double, 2 Clever Impersonators.
Okay, yeah, that's right. That sounds right. So yeah, you're trying to hit that most, and that way you can get like 5 Quintorius on the battlefield, and then
deal 10 damage from the next cascade effect.
Hit 10. Yeah, deal 10.
That's sick.
That's really cool. Quintorius is getting banned.
I don't think so.
I think Quintorius is getting banned.
You think so?
Either that or Spark Double.
I could see. I don't know. Spark Double.
It's one of the two. Because the Trumpeting Carnosaur, like, yeah, you have to get to 7. Sorry, I forget.
6.
So okay, so like you have to still get the 6 mana to get to it, to get into Quintorius, and then to get into the thing. Like you're just trying. It to me, it just feels like you're trying to get to Quintorius as fast as possible, and then Spark Doubling a million times.
I love this dinosaur because it also has a 3 mana ability where you can discard it and it deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. So it's also a removal spell.
Yeah,
I
mean that's kind of what you want in like these Cascade decks, is where like they have like you see with like Bone Crusher Giant and Rhinos, Fire Ice. Like you want things that are flexible and you can use multiple ways.
Yeah, that's just disgusting.
So yeah,
I hope Quintorius does not, because I would love to play this.
There's no way he's not. This deck isn't eating a ban. Like it that sounds so disgusting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's currently. I know I'm hoping, for the love of God, beyond all hope, that Karn goes. Otherwise, also likely Geological Appraiser and Quintorius are gone.
Yeah.
And then they said for sure they are unbanning a card.
Holy cow. Yeah, so I think for sure something in Pioneers getting unbanned I think is what you said.
They did say that for sure a card is getting unbanned. A lot of people believe it's Smuggler Copter.
That's an interesting one. But Smuggler Copter would give aggro decks, I believe, an advantage, which I think is what they want at this point. I think there's no real good aggro strategy other than Convoke.
Humans can be. And
but Smuggler Copter would give you your humans a bit of evasion too, though.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just looking at prices real quick on Quintorius. At release it was $38.90. Holy cow! But at the time of the announcement, it was $5, $7.
Okay.
And it's still around $7. So people aren't thinking that. I'm seeing a bunch of new listings though for 459.
Yeah, I think people might be like a little panicked
People
about it.
people people are starting to think about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like it can't be Spark Double, like, because Spark Double wasn't broken. Like Spark Double was seeing like no play until this card came in,
Yeah.
and that's, to me, that's the ban philosophy they should be taking, is like, hey, this wasn't a
Right.
broken card until this thing came in. It was like that with Popper. Whenever, like, oh fuck, what they banned something whenever it was like Dark Ritual, Cabal Ritual, and Lotus Petal
Yeah.
uh broke something new that came out in Popper, and people were like, oh, let's ban the new thing. And it's like, okay, I understand that, but like every time this fucking happens, that like
Mm,
there's a fast mana deck, boy, it's these three cards that we always have. Maybe
right.
maybe just ban those cards and we can have, oh, it was the adventure cards. It was the initiative cards.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
the
Yep. The
the
initiative
black
cards.
the black initiative cards. They banned like I think in total 5 initiative cards,
They banned every initiative card that was 4 mana.
and then also banned the black 5 mana one, because there was 2 black
Right.
initiative cards.
Right. Yeah.
And to me that was insane. That was just completely insane. Like, we know what the problem is. Like,
Yeah.
we can see it.
Yeah. I think there's just a lot. The backlash from banning the iconic card of Dark Ritual, though, would
I
be
don't care.
very high.
I don't
I know
care.
you don't care. I
I,
don't
I
care
think people are big babies.
either. I agree. I agree. People are clutching their pearls. Now, there was also a talk about a popper ban.
Yes.
Now, I have not been following popper
I have
super
not either.
close.
But Mono Red got a
Has it?
new Goblin Guide
Yeah, that's
that
true.
might have set it over the top again, because Mono Red keeps getting pushed. It got Synthesizer. It got the 2 Impulse draw cards of Reckless Impulse and Ren's Resolve. It got Swift Spear. It got Experimental Synthesizer. So like, it's a now, like, the beauty of Mono Red in other formats is that Mono Red for the most part is like very like shotgun. You have your first
Hmm.
10 to 15 cards in the list, and that's it.
Right.
And if you can't kill somebody with those 15 cards, you just lose. Popper, slower format, it can blow you out of the water. It absolutely can
Yeah.
just blow you out of the water, or it can do the thing where it goes, oh, I can play the long game because I have essentially 12 draw spells, which is
Hmm.
crazy. That's insane to me. So to me, something from Red's getting hit, something from Affinity is getting hit. People are saying all the glitters. Maybe we saw cranial plating. Cranial plating's on the ban list for Affinity,
Yeah.
because it's just way too good in this format. Um, I think all the glitters is less good, but still good.
I think the reason behind all that glitters is, and it's my thought, because I did play a little bit of popper when they announced, like, when all that glitters got put in.
Mhm.
And I believe it's the fact that running the lands just naturally gives it an additional +1/+1.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right? Like, on turn 2, it will give you +3/+3 at a minimum on your creature,
At a minimum, yeah.
meaning it's out of bolt range instantly, assuming you can get it to stick.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. My guess is, likely an impulse draw effect. I would probably say experimental synthesizer to ding Kuldotha Rebirth as well. Um,
That would also hit
Boros Synth, which is probably an issue because that's a cool deck. Like, that's one of the cooler
the
decks in the format.
that's the bounce one, right? Where you're
Yep.
constantly bouncing synthesizer. Okay.
Yeah, you're just gaining advantage by returning permanents to your hand and then replaying them.
Yeah.
Which sucks. Like that would suck. I've seen people say not Gleeful Demolition. Clodoth Rebirth should go, which is okay.
I don't think so.
No, like I don't know.
If you
I
take synthesizer away, you nerf it down.
yeah,
And I think it's usable then.
or get rid of a like Reckless Impulse or Random Resolve. Pick one and get rid of it.
I'd be fine with that too.
I think just giving them 8 draw effects as opposed to 12 is pretty impactful. Although I think we all agree that Experimental Synthesizer is probably the best one out of that deck. But
Yeah.
outside of that, I have no idea what else is going on in that format. It's been a while.
Yeah, just looking at the tier list for the past 2 weeks, because I have to look at the last 2 weeks. You'll be interested to see. It's, of course, number one with 16% of the meta share. Mono Red,
Yep.
Kadoltha. Number two, 8.59% of the meta share, Glitter's Affinity.
Yep.
The next one is Golgari Control at 8.2.
Probably Golgari Gardens. It plays Colony
Uh,
Garden, Snuff
it's,
Out, that kind of stuff.
I believe so. The Crypt Rats.
Rats.
Yeah.
Avenging Hunter.
Yep, that's it. Yep.
That's Golgari Gardens. They just call it Golgari Control.
Yeah, that looks like a cool deck, though.
Yeah, it's definitely cool. It's just like, that's the one it would have to be.
Yeah. Mono Blue Tempo, which might
that's either Mono Blue Delver or Fairies.
It's the It's the Delver one. It looks like.
Yeah,
because it's got
Cryptic Serpent made that deck. Now you have 8 Serpent, and they were just like, okay, well, we don't need to play black anymore because we have 2 Serpents that don't conflict with each other. And also we have a bunch of instants and sorcery, so fuck it, let's play Delver.
Yeah, this is actually a fun looking deck too that I would like to play. Force Spike is a silly thing.
Force Spike is Mana Tithe.
It's Mana Tithe, yeah. Boomerang, fun.
Boomerang.
Yeah, I'm just looking through it here. Lorien Reveal. Look at you.
Yeah, because that's an extra sorcery in the graveyard for your Serpents.
That and it's running 16 lands.
Yeah, you're probably running 4 Lorien Revealed and 4 Lorien Revealed, Brainstorm Ponder, Boomerang, Force Spike, Spell Pierce, Counterspell, and in the sideboard is likely a Null. 4 copies of a Null.
Thought Scours too.
Thought Scour makes sense. What about Mental Note?
They are running the Mental Notes.
Yeah. So yeah, you're just dumping shit into the graveyard. You're essentially trying to turbo
mill yourself
to get your Serpents.
Yeah, which you could do
pretty quickly.
Probably as early as turn 3.
Depending on how you hit with your Thought Scours, you could do it as early as turn 2. You get a Serpent on the battlefield.
Well, Mental Note, I think, is also just another Thought Scour.
Yes, that's his point. But you can one of those you can target your opposing player if you want to. I don't know why you would, but
it looks like they moved the Murmuring Mystic to the sideboard.
Yep. That's a good sideboard playing against. I'm going to say Fairies. I'm assuming because you can then match them in like bodies on the board.
Yeah. Yep. That's cool. Now, one last point, because I know we're kind of over.
It's fine.
But just to think about this, I saw a little bit of backlash about the ban announcements because we have a major tournament coming up next weekend.
Yeah, and this goes into the lame duck thing that I wanted to talk about too. But continue.
Gotcha. Yeah. So the thing is, it's DreamHack Atlanta is coming up, and Pioneer is one of the big boys going to be there.
It is the big boy.
Actually, it is the big boy.
It is the main event.
The Pioneer thing that you got invited to, that's going to be there, and people are now upset because if they're running Tron Mono Green in Pioneer, they now have to find a new deck in a week.
Yep. And also, if you have the Discover decks, you have to find a new deck.
That's true too. If you have the Discover deck, you have to find a new deck. I saw a lot of people very upset, being like, if you can't find, like, they were legitimately upset that they were going to have to build a deck out of in paper in a week.
I
And I don't understand that logic.
Yeah, I mean, I get it just from like supply issues. That it could be really difficult. So I sympathize a bit with it. It sucks, but it's also like for the health of the format, boy, something needed to change. And
Yeah.
like,
And
I'm sorry that you love playing mono green, but boy, does everybody else not like playing mono green?
yeah, there's also the thing as well with this is they're not going to know what the meta is. So it's going
Right.
to be an exciting thing to watch
Oh yeah.
next weekend.
I
I'm going to
can't wait
love
for
it.
humans or Convoke to take it down. Because the thing is like humans gets better without like humans gets interesting. Deck sideboards change entirely.
Sideboards will change. Yeah.
If mono green goes, I actually think humans probably doesn't run Brave the Elements at all anymore, and you could probably just go with like an Umori build where you have Umori the Collector as your companion. Uh, yeah, and just
Wait, which
run
one's
nothing.
that one?
He is, oh god, Umori the Collector. It because I only
What
know
is
it
it?
because of the Collector. It is a companion. Uh, it's a 4/5 legendary ooze, two black
Oh.
green. Each non-land card in your starting deck shares a card type. As Umori the Collector enters the battlefield, choose a card type. Spells you cast of the chosen type cost one less to cast.
Ooh. I love that.
So
That's
yeah,
amazing. Yeah, because then you don't need to run the ossifications. You don't need to run the portable holes.
yeah, Portable Hole was pretty much just for mono green. Now, of course,
The dorks.
it does hit other things, but like,
Yeah.
but yeah, like there's good ETB humans
Yeah.
in other colors that you can just play. Now, are you ever returning Umori to hand and then playing the Umori for 4 mana? Doubtful, but it's a
Yeah.
spicy build.
Well, and with the removal of so a lot of decks now are also no longer playing ossification. They're playing it get lost instead.
Mhm.
So because then it destroys and it's not something that can be bounced.
Right.
Yeah, so that helps a lot too. Wow, this is just going to be. Oh, rest in peace. Then becomes a bad card.
Yeah, but like I'm sure there's other humans you can find that do something. Like if you're worried about creativity, you can play Containment Priest,
Drannith Magistrate.
Dranith Magistrate. Well, no, Dranith Magistrates for Discover. So if you
Cast. Oh yeah. You can't cast spells from anywhere other than
yep.
their hands. So okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something that actually went up in stock a lot was Dranith Magistrate. And I'm sure there's other stuff. I don't want to theory. Yeah, it's
$17.
because of the Discover deck. But like, yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's gonna be interesting when this comes out. We'll have more information.
Yeah.
People are like, I'm in a Murktide server, and people are like, what are we playing after the ban list? And it's like, guys, the fucking ban list hasn't even been announced yet.
Oh my gosh, and there's so many people speculating stuff too.
Yeah. And then to the lame duck format thing, there are people
Yes.
on Twitter being like, "Oh, we're in lame duck format. Like, who's going to want to play Modern and Pioneer for the week?" And it's like me, because
Yeah.
like we didn't talk about it in this week in Magic, but Dan went to locals with Scam, and he played Scam for the first and only time. And I went by the hard and fast rule of mulligan till you can scam.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, except for like there's certain like against Murktide, you don't mulligan until you scam. Um, and
Right.
then there was a couple of but like 6 of the 9 games that I played, I had turn one scam.
Yeah.
So like,
Super duper consistent somehow.
yep. And most of the time it was on 7. In fact, there were 2 games where I scam turn 1 and scam turn 2. Yeah, deck is
Oh,
stupid.
deck is dumb. You should have played it more, Dan.
After that I was kicking myself, being like, why didn't I play this during the RCQ format?
You
Why?
should have
I
played. You
should
had
have.
it, right? You
I
had the
had
whole
it
deck,
the whole
right?
time. It was just sitting there, and it's sitting there in the same way it's sitting on my desk right now. It just sits in a pile of cards with some sleeves, with the cards that go in Murktide unsleeved, and the sleeves are just there sitting on top. Man, I feel like an idiot for not playing this deck during the RCQ format.
Should have played it.
Because I'm an idiot, and I'm playing people who I'm playing. So like round one, I play against somebody who has like zombie tribal, and it's like, fucking why?
What?
Yeah, it's like Carrion
Okay.
Feeder, Champion of the Perished, Lazotep Reaper, that kind of thing.
I could see you squeaking things out, but with so much graveyard hate running around, seems kind of dumb.
Oh, and Gravecrawler. They didn't use very much graveyard hate, or graveyard stuff.
Or
They had like
graveyard. Okay.
Gravecrawler was about it, but because I
Yeah.
didn't really see too much of it. So game one, I go Grief Scam. Look at their hand because they go first. I go Grief Scam, and I'm like, the fuck do I guess I take a Lazotep Reaper, and then they play a bunch more 1/1s, and I'm like, oh, I drew my second scam spell.
Mm-hmm.
I'll scam this Fury, and then scam a Fury, and then they're just like, yep, I concede, and it's like, okay, cool. Game two, I felt bad, so I didn't like hard mulligan to a scam hand,
Mm-hmm.
and I lost. So game three, I hard mulligan to a scam hand. I think I went down to like 5. Hard mulligan to a Fury
Jeez.
scam hand, and just blew out my opponent because you can, because it's that good. And he's like, I hate that deck. I can't wait till it goes. And I'm like, yeah, I'm only playing it because I tell everybody, I'm like, I'm playing scam. Like before the game even started, I said, I'm playing scam.
Plain scam.
I'm only playing it because I'm never going to play it again after tonight. But this guy
Yeah.
was like, uh-huh. And I'm like, all right, well, you're just a fucking piece of shit person, and I don't want to interact
Right.
with you
Well,
ever again.
but you're also like a regular too.
Yeah,
So
this is a
it's like,
person I've never seen before in my entire life.
oh well, f them.
Yeah. Literally,
For not for
I
not
played against 3 regulars after
believing
that,
you.
and everyone was chill.
Yeah.
Everyone
Yeah.
understood why I was doing it. And they were like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine. Like, we get it. Round 2 I played against Murktide. Fury scam game 1.
Win win
And
win.
they can't you guess what Murktide can't do? Remove a Fury scam.
Oh my god.
Game 2, they go for the Narset Days Undoing combo.
Yeah.
And the list I'm playing has only 2 lightning bolts in it, and they've already ticked down Narset to get a card on the previous turn. So they go Days Undoing, and I go, all right, in response to Days Undoing, lightning bolt the Narset. So Narset dies. I now get to draw. And also with the Days Undoing on the stack, I have a fetch land in play, so I fetch away and get the land that I need to get, and then
Yeah.
everything shuffles fucking right back in. And Scam gets a whole new 7 cards, and I just smoke him from that point. Like,
Yeah.
I was playing very slow, very methodical, because like you take out your Scam effect cards in that matchup, and you take out you take out some griefs too, because like they can just kill it with a lightning bolt, and that super
That's not
feels
how I
bad.
played it against. That's not how I played it against you. But
It's not, but like that's the general concept of how
yeah.
you play that matchup.
Yeah.
But like, so like that's the one game, that's one of the games where I didn't like dig for turn 1 scam.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a 2-0. Like, they just couldn't do anything after because like if the Narset Days Undoing resolves, 100% the game is over. I lose. Like,
Yeah.
I'm losing that game 100% of the time.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it was what it was. Match 3, I went against Amulet Titan. I had Fury scams both both games on turn 1.
Oh, so you took out all their stuff early. Yeah.
Well, okay. So in game one, I Fury scammed, then played Dothy, and then they just comboed on turn 3. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, and they were on the
Yeah.
play, and I was like, okay. Game 2, I go turn 1 Thoughtseize, and then
Mm-hmm.
they go, they show me Primetime Primetime Expedition Map and Arboreal Grazer. And I'm like, all right, well, Arboreal Grazer is going to be the thing that gets you to the Primetime. So let me get the Arboreal Grazer out of your hand.
Yeah.
The next turn, they go Forest, Arboreal Grazer. I'm like, fucking Thoughtseize bug.
That's funny.
Yeah, and then they prime time me, and I thought about it. I probably should. What probably should have happened was that because I got rid of one of their primeval titans
Mm-hmm.
with Dothy on the battlefield, and I just should have uh sacked the Dothy to get the primeval
Mm-hmm.
titan, so that way I could ramp up to 5 and be able to play Blood Moon. Because like
Right.
I had Blood Moon in hand basically from like turn 2. I'm like, all right, I was stuck on 2 lands the entire game. And like, if I just can
Jeez.
play this Blood Moon, the game is over. Because I have Fury Dothy Voidwalker. Like, there's nothing you can do. You cannot play this prime time. There's no card in your deck that saves you from me just killing you.
Yeah.
Nope, doesn't happen. Sucks. But like, I'm not gonna complain about it. I was playing Scam. It was just like game 2 was a series of follies that just was like a weird thing. And I was like, all right, variant's fine. Round 3, match 4. It's against Tron. This is my F6 Tron player from a couple weeks ago.
Oh, jeez.
He was super chill. Game 1, grief scam him, easy peasy. Easiest grief scam of my life. Take like
Yeah.
a 1 mana cantrip. Just proceed to outvalue him and win from there. Game 2, I don't even sideboard. So I'm like, fuck it, I just won't sideboard. I get
Mm-hmm.
Ragavan on the draw on turn 1 and just proceed to Ragavan him for a while until I turn to I Ragavan, then turn to Blood Moon, and it's just like, that's the game.
Jeez.
Yep. And from there, he was super chill. Like we talked for like 20 minutes afterwards.
That's cool.
Because and I forgot to tell them the funniest part. So after my round 3,
Yeah.
this is on Tuesday, by the way.
Oh,
Somebody,
jeez. I thought this was Wednesday.
no, oh no, I'm sorry, you're right. This is Wednesday. Tuesday's One Piece. I don't know why. I go to the store twice a week, Tuesday and Wednesday. But somebody
Huh.
walks in and is like, "Hey," they grab the fucking system mic for the store,
Oh, I
and,
remember this.
and you're just like, and I'm just like, "Oh fuck, this man's so drunk. Why is nobody on the staff trying to stop this person?" Well, apparently they run the trivia that the store does on like nerd trivia on Friday night.
Yeah.
So he's just like, yeah, fuck it, you can have it. And he's like, man, everybody, I want to tell you what a great day today is. Fucking Henry Kissinger is dead. And I'm like, wait, what? So I immediately go to Reddit and I'm like, oh, yeah, Henry Kissinger dead at 100. And this guy's like, yeah. So I've been carrying around $200 cash in my wallet for this exact moment in history.
That's
So I
funny.
have now given the bar $200. The next $200 of drinks is on
It's
me.
on me.
So I'm like, well, fuck it. I'm gonna go get a Sapporo because I've never had a Sapporo, and the bartender that plays One Piece recommends it. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll just drink a
Yeah.
Sapporo. Pretty good. But yeah, so like I never drink at these things. There are people who drink all the time at these, and that's cool. But like I don't drink
Yeah.
when I play Magic. Most of the time, when I'm playing Murktide, Murktide takes all my fucking brain power. I'm playing Scam. Fuck it. Who cares? It's Scam. I can.
It's scam. It's easy.
How do you lose with this deck? Outside of like getting incredibly unlucky. But
Yeah.
so yeah, all my opponents after the first opponent was like were like super chill. And it was like we
Mhm.
were having a good time. I got $20 in the store credit. It was great. But yeah, kicking myself because I didn't play Scam.
Yeah. I would be too.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Dan.
Yeah. So final predictions for the ban list. Bill, go first.
Yeah.
Let's do Modern then Pioneer.
Modern. I think it's going to be Fury. Not dead after all. Wait, is that
Yep, not that after all. That's one you're thinking.
okay? Not okay. That's what I'm thinking. And I think that's it. I think it's going to be only those two. Beanstalk, I think, is the last one. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I pretty much agree. I think those are the 3 cards that must be hit for sure.
Yeah.
If it can't be like if there's other stuff, cool, but like it for sure has to be at least 2 of those cards that have to go.
If anything gets unbanned, I think it's going to be Birthing Pod.
Not with Fury going. Absolutely not. Not with Fury leaving.
You don't think
No.
it'll be Birthing Pod? Nah. All right. Well,
If anything, I think it's going to be something low impact like Yorion.
okay. Cool. That's my prediction.
Yeah. I pretty much agree. Except for what's getting unbanned. There's no way it's Birthing Pod. I'm sorry. There's just not. Pioneer.
Yeah. Pioneer, Karn.
Karn. Just
Karn's
Karn?
getting hit. No, not just Karn. I think it's going to be Karn and probably um, the appraiser, geological appraiser. I think those are the two. I think they're going to leave Quintorius in, and they're probably going to monitor and then do a ban in the next set's ban window if it's continuing to be a problem.
Okay.
Because it was in the top, but it's not like the most played meta share.
Sure. I agree about Karn. Geological Appraiser, maybe. Because now I'm seeing that Trumpeting Carnosaur is in both decks. I feel like Trumpeting Carnosaur is probably the card you hit over those. Although it might not be as impactful in Quintorius, but it's still something to hit. So that way, like, you're not running 8
Yeah.
copies of Quintorius, essentially. Yeah, that to me, that's it. It is like think Karn, Trumpeting Carnosaur, and then unban like Smuggling Copter or Smuggler Copter.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to unban.
I have no idea.
Honestly, like people are saying smuggling copter. I don't understand why specifically. Like I read the card, it gives you card advantage. That's not even advantage. I think it's just card selection.
I think it's draw discard.
Yeah,
So you essentially connive with it.
yeah. Let me just double check here. Yeah, whenever it attacks or blocks, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. It's a crew 1, 2 mana, 3/3. I don't think that's getting unbanned.
Yeah, that actually seems. I didn't
I
realize
don't
it was
think that's
that.
getting.
That does seem pretty good.
I thought my first glance at it when I looked at it earlier this week, I thought it was a 3/1 or a 3/2.
Yeah, I thought honestly, I thought it was like a 1/1.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
I
a
don't think
3/3.
a
Like
3/3 for 2
you can
and you
go
crew
like
1.
1 mana creature, Smuggler Copter. Your opponent attacks, crew, block with the Smuggler
Yeah.
Copter. Like that's.
Yes, I don't think that's.
That,
And you get to draw and discard when you block
yeah,
or attack.
that's
That's
not
dumb.
great. And it doesn't have vigilance.
I
It's just
don't
flying.
think it's just flying.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank God it doesn't have vigilance. If it had vigilance, that card's never returning to any format ever.
Yeah, but there's a million and a half ways to give it vigilance.
Oh, I'm sure. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't really know. My prediction's just Smuggler Copter because everyone else is saying it. I don't.
Oh, if it gets unbanned, I am totally buying 4 copies of the Secret Lair Smuggler's Copter from Fortnite.
Oh, perfect.
It's the battle bus.
Oh, nice. I think the other card that people are talking about is Walking Ballista, which died for Heliod sins, apparently.
Yeah, the Heliod combo would have made that impossible to play, but Heliod's still not banned, right?
I don't know. But I think with Soul Cauldron, I don't agree. Soul Cauldron
No.
plus Ballista is bad. I don't
Yeah,
think we should be touching that.
I don't think that unless they get rid of Soul Cauldron, but I
Yeah.
don't see Soul Cauldron as a problem in the format.
And not in
So
Pioneer, no.
yeah, so I think they're just being dumb. Yeah, Walking Bliss is stupid. That's a stupid unban. If they do unban it, it's they better reprint it soon.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's it.
That is it.
Yeah. So just a couple news things though. Like as you heard earlier, we are going to Magic Con Chicago.
Mhm.
If you're gonna be there, let us know in the video comments. We'd love to meet up with people, talk, maybe play some games. If we're not, well, I'll probably be able to play games because I lose quickly if I do lose. If that's but yeah, let us know. On the YouTube side, also comment, like, subscribe. Let us know what your thoughts are on the bands that are coming up. By the time you hear this, in the next couple of hours, we should also be putting out a video that day. So go ahead and hit that notification bell so you are up to date with our thoughts on the band. And Dan, tell them what to do on the podcast side.
Just find us on your podcast app of choice. You can also follow us on social media. We have our ats below our pictures. If you want to follow us, we don't really tweet or whatever that much about Magic, but when we do, if you want to hear those thoughts, go ahead, throw them in there. I mostly complain about film Twitter and their stupid takes, but if you want to hear me complain about people complaining about movies, that's good.
Yeah, I'm typically more active during preview season. That's my favorite time to tweet because new cards. But yeah, from that, just keep calm and spike on.